This video is brought to you by the 3-Minute Board Game patrons. Keep us independent by supporting us on Patreon. Kia ora koutou, and welcome to this unusual video on the 3-Minute Board Games channel. Today I want to talk to you about making a board game, and not just making a board game collaboratively with you out there. The idea is to take a board game from idea through to published product, showing all steps of the process and working collaboratively with you, the 3-Minute Board Games audience. One of my inspirations to do this was a guy called Julian Burke. He has his own channel where he's talking about his board game Pincer. Julian's quite a serious fellow, and his game was quite far developed before he put it out to a general audience for discussion. I want to start much earlier in the process than that. I don't want to start with a name in mind. All I want to do is have this one concept and see where we can take that. So we are going to start with an idea, and the reason for that is I don't want this first session to be people pitching me 1,000 different board game ideas. That would be just a little chaotic. It would be kind of cool in some respects, but a little too chaotic because I have a specific idea in mind. And that idea is, what if Munchkin was a completely different game? Now, I'm not looking to remake Munchkin. I don't actually want to talk about Munchkin's mechanics in the slightest. I'm talking about the idea that underpins Munchkin. The idea of a group of people sitting down to play a tabletop role-playing game and all of them trying to out-cheese each other. And the person who plays the cheesiest character wins. That's the idea I'm going for here. Not remaking that game, but looking at the idea that was behind it and thinking, can we do something dramatically different than what Munchkin the board game is and make our own interesting, unique game in that space? Because I think that's a space that has real potential. And for us to start off, I'm going to bring up 3 design pillars. These are 3 concepts to focus your thinking and make sure we don't get entirely off base. The first pillar is, this needs to be fantasy trope heavy. We're going to have elves, dwarves, goblins, all that kind of stuff. We're going to have fighters, wizards, magic swords, shields, potions. All of that recognizable fantasy trope material needs to be in the game. And it needs to be instantly viewable as either D&D or D&D adjacent material. You know, without any copyright infringement, of course. We're not making a sci-fi game, a cyberpunk game, a historic game, or anything like that. We're looking at classic fantasy tropes. The second pillar is the game should be framed around a tabletop role-playing game type experience, even if it's abstracted. So the player should represent a party that's working together. They should each have a recognizable single character who is a part of that party, and they should be involved in some kind of quest or exploration that involves them going through a dungeon or other locations, fighting monsters, fighting bosses, collecting treasure, and doing all that traditional Dungeons & Dragons-y fantasy role-playing game exploration type stuff. So people need to sit down when they're playing this game and instantly go, oh, we are a D&D party, or a party in a D&D-like game. This is my character, and this is how I'm contributing to the party on its quest. That kind of idea. And the third pillar is the game needs to feel like a cooperative game, even though it's a competitive game. I'm not interested in making a semi-cooperative game where one player can like throw their toys and tank the game and ruin it for everyone, or one player is the traitor. I want to explore the idea of intense competition in a cooperative environment. The idea of being a Munchkin is that you are part of a role-playing game group, but you're the one who's the special snowflake, who's doing the most damage, who's killing the most enemies, who's blowing the most things up, who's stealing the most treasure, disarming the most traps, marrying the most dragons, you name it. Whatever we decide is the success feature for this game, the Munchkin, the winner of this game, is the person who does that best, but they do it as part of a team. So the idea in the game is trying to outcompete your teammates. So for example, healing someone might actually score you some points because you're contributing to the team. And players might be slightly resentful of you healing them, knowing that you'll get points off that. It's that kind of interaction that I want to foster in this game. The idea that everyone's there to beat up the baddie, but it's whoever beats up the baddie best gets to be the actual winner of the game. So what happens next? Well, we're looking at mechanics to start with, some core mechanical ideas to underpin this game. Should it have a board? Should it have cards? Should it be a card drafting thing? Should it have pre-constructed characters? How would you go about structuring this game? Give me your ideas on how you would make this game work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look through these ideas, synergize them, add in my own ideas of course, and come back with a little bit of a starter pitch on how a prototype of this game might look. And then we'll take it from there and see where it goes. Now this entire project could dead end after this video if there's not enough interest or if I get bored of the idea. Who knows, but I kind of think this would be a really neat thing to see through to its end. See where we can take this. See if we can get a publisher interested in getting involved. See if we can collaboratively design a game on here and how much fun that will be. Because I think this concept is one that a lot of people could get quite excited about playing. I think the idea of Munchkin is really great, even if I've never really liked that game. I like the idea behind it. I like the idea of being the cheesiest guy in the D&D party and lighting up the damage charts and making the DM go, ooh, how much was that smite? That's the vibe I want to see in the game. And I think there's a bunch of people out there who'd love to see a game like this come to life as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this and your suggestions for mechanics for this idea. And as always, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Take care, everyone.